Shalom, brothers and sisters. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why is everyone so divided? Why are there so many different doctrines within one community? Why do some people believe this, some people believe that? Why is everyone using different words for different things? Why are people so hateful and proud towards each other, so judgmental and critics and arguing and debate? Why is there so much of this stuff that seems so unkadosh to those who are pure in heart? Because there's a prophecy about it, and I want to go through the scripture with you today. The Father quite clearly says, Abba, Yahuwah, clearly states through his prophets that none of this is going to be put right until the end, until judgment has happened. And I'm going to prove to you it's because he needs to remove the prideful, the hateful and the haughty from amongst us. Then he's going to unify our speech to be one pure language, a clean lip with no pagan words in it. And although I think it's really lovely that people are using the Hebrew, it's the right thing to do. I could probably do with learning a bit more myself, but if we try and do it within our own flesh to put everybody right on this, we have to realise that we are scattered amongst the nations in Babylon. He's going to gather those nations for judgment and pour out wrath on these people, and then he's going to restore all things. He's going to replace the language. He's going to make sure we're all clean-lipped. And he's going to have us in one consent, one state of mind, one frame of mind, having only purity of thought and operating within pure truth. That's the one consent. That's the harmony that we're going to be living under. And I'm going to show you in the scripture where it shows that this is right. I don't want any of you coming to me and saying, I'm saying that it's wrong to build communities. I'm saying that it's wrong to learn Hebrew. I'm saying that it's wrong to work towards purity of thought and everyone being together. I've never once said that. I'm just saying the scripture says it's not going to be full and complete until he has removed those amongst us who are proud. This is why you're going to see the arguments. This is why you're going to see the haughtiness. This is why there's judgment and condemnation and criticism in the body, and the house is divided. Because it hasn't happened yet. But he is going to put everything right. It's just a matter of waiting, and he tells us to wait right at the beginning of this scripture. So here we go. Therefore wait upon me until the day that I rise up to make a prey, says Yahuwah. For my determination is to gather the nations, so that I may assemble the kingdoms and pour upon them my wrath, even all my fierce anger, because the whole earth will be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That is when I will turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahuwah, to serve him with one consent. Beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, will bring offering. And in that day you will no longer be ashamed of all your doings, how you transgressed against me, because at that time I will take away those amongst you who rejoice in their own pride. And you will not be haughty any more because of my holy mountain. But the afflicted and the poor people will be left amongst you, and they will trust in the name of Yahuwah. The remnant of Yasharel shall not be lawless or speak lies. Neither will a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. They will feed and rest, and no one will be able to make them afraid. So if any of you have been wondering why the body is so fragmented, why we have so much contradictory doctrines and people pushing their opinions on others, and pride and arrogance, and people finger pointing and blaming and criticizing and having judgment against each other, and just general disharmony of the body, and people being quite hateful towards each other because they don't agree. This is why. And all of those people, this is why I keep preaching for people to not judge some others, because those who take it upon themselves, who think that they have the right to judge others, they're coming into the boundaries of this haughtiness and self-pride, self-righteousness. This is why that there's a certain group, I'm not going to say who they are, but they go around telling everyone they're sinners because they're keeping the law. And that they're not only keeping the 10 Commandments, they're not under the royal law, right? They're in danger of exactly this, of being removed when the time comes, because they're haughty and judgmental and proud. See, we've got to be so careful that anyone who we're learning from shows that they're humble and that they're not going to start pointing fingers. This is why a lot of the videos I've made in the past have been about remove yourself from all judgmental practices and criticism of others, because none of us have it perfect. Yahusha told us, judge and you will be judged. But yet we have puffed up proud people thinking they have the right to point people out in the community and say, oh, this person's wrong, that person's wrong, this person's in trouble, that person's in trouble. You know, we need to be really, really careful how we speak to them and treat them. Because remember, nobody comes and points a finger at someone else in the presence of Yahuwah. You're just going to burn up. Guys, this is so important. And, you know, we need to be approaching Yahuwah and remember who he is and the power he has, and approaching him in all humility, without a thorn of hatred in our heart towards a brother. Yahusha made it clear. He said, before you give your offering, go and humble yourself to your brother. If you've got a problem with him, sort it out. So the offerings that we're supposed to be making is our prayers. So how can our voice be heard by Yahuwah when we have a thorn in our heart towards a brother? Not good. So I'm just going to leave that with you and just say, look, there's a reason why people are divided. And it's a lack of humility. Shouldn't matter what any of us have, what understanding any of us have, that it's not an excuse to not love a brother. If you don't agree, you don't have to hang out. Just don't be hateful and proud towards each other. Because these people are going to be removed. It tells you in Zephaniah. He has to remove the proud and the hateful first before we can come together as one. Because those people aren't welcome in the kingdom. Love to you all. May Abba barak you.